isn't as well known for the sport of rugby. And we went to places like Australia and New Zealand. I think they won the World Cup this year, something, Australia, but.
Kiwis.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
You're right on top of it.
I got
1990.
That's why you
the
didn't
world
start.
over there.
That's why you were always not starting at St.
But we went to Australia, and I remember we
Playbook.
played this one team, and I think it got dark because we were kind of late. And I think they had,
Teachers, Brisbane.
no, it was up. It was
Orange.
orange.
Yeah.
And then I think they had guys up in the trees with lights, just trying to sort of
Like
see what was going on.
flashlights.
Right, it was like amazing.
Lighting the field.
And it was a great time. We had a lot of fun, and then we go into Sydney and we play the Sydney. It was a major team. It was a
Eastern
fairly
suburbs.
it was Eastern
University.
suburbs.
Red and
No.
No, it was a
Sydney
big
University.
stadium,
Oh,
right?
Sydney U.
Yeah, it was a big stadium and a lot of
Big
people, and it's just the difference between the two games were just amazing. And the nice thing about Australia is that everyone there just loved the sport, and they love sports, and that's the deal. And I really enjoyed that touring the concept, and so I think that also helped us because you learn so much about the game once you're playing another team that's come from a country that really where the sport is just so important.
Yeah, I grew up with it.
It was great. If obviously on these trips to these foreign countries, you got entrees to places you would have never gotten as a solo backpacker.
Yeah.
As he said, as soon as the rugby came up, you got introduced. You were in. So it was a great way to see places and have more people give you the benefit of the doubt on come on in, tourist. It worked really well.
Yeah, it's like you weren't tourists.
Yeah.
When you were on a
Yeah.
rugby tour.
Insiders.
And so you have that Russian hat in your hand.
You noticed? I was actually wearing it too. This came from the
Wait,
Go ahead. Question?
we have to wait.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I brought this here.
We have to start that one.
We have to start all over
Okay,
again.
so I do have a Russian hat. What?
Hold on. We have to wait.
How many of you went on
For
that
Mike
trip?
Purcell to answer
1,
a phone
2,
call?
3, 4,
Shutting
5.
it off, Dave.
What the fuck is this? You got a Siri now? You want to show everybody your new
Not
device?
shutting it off very well.
You are. You don't know how to operate
It's called
it.
a
So am I right?
smartphone.
Did the five
Yeah,
of
but
you
it's
go to
not so
Russia?
smart operator.
Did the 5 of you go to Russia? You 2 and you 3? Did all
I went to Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get that at the Red Square? Or?
You know, actually, this is a imposter.
Because
It's
those
replaced the
guards
one
that
I
were
had.
hanging out the Red Square,
All
they
right.
wouldn't move.
They
They
Yeah.
would
Probably
they wouldn't
take
even
that.
look.
They wouldn't
Yeah.
even matter,
No,
Yeah, are we on? We running?
Now go.
The many tours the match went on. I didn't go obviously on all of them, but Mose, myself, Bobby, who else was on the Mikey was on
Richie,
the
you went,
Purcell.
didn't you?
Richie missed that one. But it was an unprecedented tour. It was the first time. Actually, Mystic River had gone right before us, right? Mose, remember that? And they actually got to play games in Russia. We didn't because we didn't know it then, but Jim Lace had some other activities that were going on.
Like CIA.
He was a spook, as it turns out, and it's all out now. It's public, so we're not like outing Jim. Sorry,
Buy
Jim.
the book, yeah.
Buy the book, read the
Yeah,
book.
read
and
the
stuff.
book.
Yeah, there's not much else in there other than him using us as a front for doing surveillance
We had a good time.
in Russia. But they wouldn't play us. I mean, we came over there. It wasn't just the bats thing. It was really, I don't know, it was like a U.S. team without it being called that. Wouldn't you say? We had Old
we had a pretty
Blues.
good
We
team.
had Santa Monica. We had some other guys. I mean, it was really probably as good a team that you could put together to represent the U.S. in 1978. So we got over there and expected this fanfare of the top teams. Russia was trying to develop their rugby program and hoping to get the big Igor guys, and see what was going on. It was just like you never knew. I mean, this was like uncharted terrain. And unfortunately, it was still uncharted terrain after we returned home because thanks to Jim, they wouldn't play us. And we couldn't figure it out. We had games in Moscow, we had games in Leningrad, we had games in Kiev that were scheduled, and they kept making excuses, and they wouldn't give us their training facilities. And we trained on riverbanks, right, Mose? And there was in Kiev, when we got to Kiev, we didn't have a training facility, a field, or anything. So somebody had gone out and found out that there was a soccer pitch behind some bad apartment complex 2 miles away. So we got on the bus and stuff to go nowhere. And then finally we had this plan and we just said, okay, fuck this, we're going to go, like practice because we think we're going to have a game. So we went jogging.
We
through
told the bus driver to
pick it up.
stop. Everybody got off the bus. It was like our blow for freedom. We
Yeah,
jogged through town to this field. People are sitting on the hills, eating their lunches and doing stuff for stuff. And we're just having our
Yeah, we had
practice.
our Navy sweatsuits.
We said,
on.
we showed them. We showed those Russians.
And we were singing, I've been working on the railroad, all these very patriotic songs and stuff, and running in uniform, like nobody's gonna mess around with these guys. But meanwhile, there's like all these other little guys, the not the Politburo, the KGB, right? Remember, we had shadows the whole time. I mean, it was really just a fascinating experience because then Russia was the evil empire, according to Reagan, who then cut a deal not that long after with the evil empire. But we were really in this really strange place with a guy who was a CIA agent, like spying on people while we were trying to find a rugby game. Let's go figure.
Used as cover for
Yeah.
taking
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
And in '72 as well.
So we're going to kill waste.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Is he here?
Supposed to be there.
Supposed to be. He will be here.
Yeah, it's a great story though. Like
all
it's just an
the greatest
amazing experience. That's sort of the tourist side of things that are every now and then just a little blessing that comes along, which is something is not traditional rugby.
Hold on. Whenever somebody knocks, they get chewed out.
Oh, that's why we did that once and got that.
That's why she got.
You're in the right place. You're just a little early now. Okay,
when do you want it?
I'll come get you.
How much longer do we have to put up with this? Are you guys like just drenched with sweat?
Yeah,
Just
I'm like,
rolling-
I'm getting a
rolling down
sunburn.
my
I'm getting a
back.
sunburn here.
Yeah, you are.
Jesus Louise.
your shirt,
Yeah, like
I
that.
feel it.
You get sunburned in the dark.
Yeah. And we always thought it was a blush.
You have some WD-40 on there to like filter out the UVs.
I want to drop 10 pounds in here.
That's okay. That was Stefanian, and I have a shot of him. If I can play my movie, I have a great shot of him in his underwear.
Why is that great?
That's not a great shot.
Yeah,
It's not even a great image. I may have
Even when
nightmares.
he was a young man, that wasn't a great shot.
No, but it fit perfectly in the frame. So I want
So-
to make sure that he doesn't.
So we're wondering, are you
out.
torturing us now, or do we get to like?
Yeah, what's the time?
Are we
Just
done?
one
Can
more,
we
just
go?
one more.
Okay.
Just one more.
Well, there was one other thing about touring that I thought was always so unique is that it was great to go and compete against all these other teams and the other countries and that stuff. But you got to go away with the guys and you hung out all day, every day. And that's where the big bondings occurred. You create all these stories that are memories that you can share. And to me, that was part of your, not share.
Yeah, right.
But being on
In
tour was
Preston's
that
case.
opportunity that you didn't get at home, where you could hang out every day, all day together. So,
Well, I was surprised. A bunch of guys this weekend have told that story quickly. Well, and I went to a rugby club, and all of a sudden they were talking about going on tour, and you had no idea what they meant at first. I went to my first Santa Monica practice. Okay, get your $100 in for Australia. What's that mean? And 6 months later, my life had changed.
I went on the 90 tour to Germany, Berlin,
91?
91, Berlin, Prague, Scotland, and England. And it was right after the wall came down. And we stayed in a hotel in East Berlin, not far from where we practiced. And so we had these blue sweats with red and white also. So as a team, we jogged to practice from the East Berlin hotel right over where the wall was. And we had people watching us as this team.
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
Didn't know who we were, what we were, but we were jogging from East Berlin to West Berlin
Oh, wow.
within the first year after the wall came down. And it was great. We had, I mean, that in itself was a great experience. We went into the stadium there, Berlin Stadium, where they had the Olympics.
Yeah.
And
With Jesse Jones?
With Jesse,
where
Jesse Owens.
Jesse
Owens.
Owens raised his fist, and
Yeah.
there were a couple hundred people there, and we got to play, and it was great. It was.
Did you win or lose?
We went 4 out of 6. We won.
Oh, that's good.
So and the teams.
Of course, that was
played.
Germany you were playing.
Yeah.
No, we
So-
played. Then we played Prague, and they had a lot of
Oh
junior
yeah,
nationals.
you
on
found
the
some
team.
of the good teams to play, right?
We played the Scottish teams, and but what we found was
What the fuck is this? You find some German and Czechoslovakian teams to beat up on, and you call that a successful
Pad your record and
tour?
then go to Scotland.
Fucking A.
but
Good
they
God.
but there was
That's a
there was-
tour? Does that constitute a tour?
I think you should put that hat.
Hey, they went to
Definitely,
Tunisia for a
Put the
game.
flaps down. Get the flaps down.
What is this? Is a tour? This is no tour.
But we play, yeah. But I mean, there was definitely a feeling from the other teams, and they told us that they always heard the American teams were hard hitters, and so they were apprehensive about playing us. And but we were hard hitters, and we played our hearts out, and we had a great time. And
Yeah. And also, the Bats were the first American team to tour through North Africa, too. So, and that was in '88. This is a Tunisian national jersey. So, it was kind of unique going through there, too. We got a private bus, and we'd meet the mayor afterwards. And it was a thing where they couldn't drink, so they gave us Kool-Aid and cookies, and we were on camera and stuff. And then we'd go like 2 miles outside of town. There'd be like 20 people there with cases of beer, and they'd jump on our bus, and we'd start drinking on the way back to our
Was it
hotel.
like
Why
good
would you go on a
Kool-Aid
tour
dinner?
like that?
So,
Doesn't sound
was
like
unique.
fun.
Brilliant, gentlemen.
Oh,
Did
my
you have something
Lord.
to add, you
No.
two?
Well, the last thing,
Tunisia.
you know, the name of the club, the Bay Area Touring Site,
Yeah.
was just brilliant
Yeah,
by
it's
those
true.
those
Good point,
originators.
Peter.
And you know, when you get to join the Bats and play with the Bats and go on a tour, you really get the essence of what that truly means. And
That is.
yeah, but the
Yeah,
touring
right,
part
thanks,
of it,
Mike.
you know, the touring part of it to me was the highlight
Essence.
of my 5 years with
Yeah.
the Bats. Monterey was fantastic too. David already commented on that, but that tour with these two guys were on that one, 82 to New Zealand and Australia, was just absolutely a blast.
Cool.
but I think in general, rugby is, as someone pointed out, family,
Yeah.
a team,
Right.
on the field and off the field.
I love it. So we're gonna, and I'm gonna open the door and then you guys cool off. Before you leave,
Our
he's
blood
gonna-
level is rising perilously high,
Yeah.
and our alcohol